Hello, Oracles. Well, I get to wear the green shirt again today. We've got the market was rallying after the Fed decided to raise the interest rates by 75 basis points. Now, again, this is something we had discussed based on Monday's news that we anticipated this was going to be coming today. So we got the news and the market cheered it. And this was great to see. We had the S&P up 1.5%, Nasdaq was up 2.5%, Tesla was up 5.5%. It was a wonderful day. Tesla closed just under 700. I was hoping they were going to close over 700, but it did not happen. No big deal. Let's see if this continues going forward. We raised the rate 75 basis points now. The market is now going to be looking ahead to price in the market for what they think the interest rates are going to be for the next few FOMC meetings. Sounds like we're looking at a 50 basis point hike in July. Jerome Powell said during the meeting today that they're not anticipating doing any more hikes of this size going forward, but you never know what's going to happen when it comes to the inflation, and if the inflation does not come down, they may have to do something like that. But currently the market is pricing in a 50 basis point hike for July, September, and November, and then December might be a 25 basis point hike, but that's a little bit further down the road, so we're going to wait on that. Now, Jerome Powell did say during the meeting that they are not looking to induce a recession. Now, we already know that we have 1 quarter of negative GDP, so a second quarter of negative GDP means that we would technically be in a recession. Jerome Powell seems to believe that we are not heading in that direction. We have a strong economy right now. Again, we'll find out at the end of July or beginning of August when we get these numbers to determine if we actually are in a recession or not. But, it seems like the numbers and data that they're looking at tell us one story, but consumer sentiment tells us another story. So there's very little consumer confidence right now out there for what the Fed can do, for what's going on in the economy. But the Fed is confident that they're going to be able to get us through this. Someone did ask about the soft landing that he was talking about, and we didn't get the same confident answer that we had gotten previously. And part of it seems to be that Jerome Powell, it's not like he's pointing a finger elsewhere, but it seems like some of the inflation that we are seeing right now is out of their control. When you're looking at oil prices and commodities, there's nothing they can really do about that. If oil prices are going to continue going up, they can't stop that. And that's a huge piece of inflation that's going on right now. Now, we do have Joe Biden is going to be going over to Saudi Arabia next month to discuss oil with them. So who knows what deals they're going to stir up over there, but hopefully we will get prices coming down in oil at that time. So what's going to end up happening in my eyes, and obviously I don't know what's going to truly happen in the future, but we always talk about these magical events that turn things around. I'm hoping this happens for everyone involved. Right now, yes, the Fed seems like the economy is doing well, but you and I know as consumers that it sucks right now. It sucks really hard. So it would be really nice if we do get this magical turnaround where the Fed cranks up the rates a little bit faster now, and then all of a sudden oil prices come falling down, bringing the inflation down due to oil prices coming down, and then the Fed rates that are going up seem to be too hawkish and they have to go more dovish. And maybe these 50 basis point hikes that are priced in for the next 3 FOMC meetings end up turning into 25 basis point hikes, or maybe none at all. That, for me, would be the ideal scenario, and I think all of you can agree that if we can get inflation to come down and the Fed goes more dovish and then stocks can rally, that would be the ideal situation. Let's hope that that happens. I'm hoping that maybe these internal workings with President Biden going over to talk to Saudi Arabia is going to make this happen. Again, you can put your tinfoil hat on and say that they're going to work some special deals out and we're going to hear about one piece of the news, but it's truly going to be something else. Who knows what's going to happen? All I know is that from the consumer standpoint, if oil prices can come down and gas prices can come down and inflation can come down, then stock prices can go back up and we will be happy across the board because we'll be spending a lot less money on everyday needs and we'll have a lot more money that we can put into the stock market and our portfolios will stop looking so beat down. And now these are just my hopes, and of course going into the midterm elections, right now it seems like a lot of people are leaning more towards, the right side of things than the left because There's really a lot of unhappiness going on in the country right now. So perhaps they're going to try to work some magic to make this happen. That's my hopes. I don't know. Whatever the reason is, I want it to come down. Now, Jerome Powell also did mention the housing market. And, for me, this is something I paid attention to because I am looking to be purchasing a house. And now he did say himself, literally flat out said, if you are going to be a first time or a new home buyer, just wait. Because right now the market is in total flux. We've got interest rates soaring into the mid 6%. We've got prices of houses still going up, which normally they contradict each other, but right now both are going up. He says we need to find a rebalancing point again. We're not there right now. There is an overwhelming amount of unfinished homes being built. So once we can get those finished and get that supply into the market, that will in turn bring down the demand because the supply will be much higher. That should in turn also bring prices down. So based on the information he has right now that he gave us, sounds like we are looking for a housing price cliff to be coming at some point. Don't know when. This time around he was pretty open about the fact that he's like, you're gonna have to wait. We've got some time on all of this. Inflation, housing market, prices of everything. You're just gonna have to wait. He's kind of in limbo, and it seems like what they can control, they are controlling, but there are things that are forces that are stronger than they can control right now in play. And that's going to be the commodity prices when it comes to oil. And he said food is something they can sort of control, but it's still a commodity which they can't. And if food prices are going to be, reflected with oil prices because of shipping and all of these things, their hands are kind of tied when it comes to that. So they're doing what they can for what they can control, but the inflation right now, when it comes to the headline number, is out of their control for the most part. And again, it didn't seem like he was trying to pass the buck or point the finger elsewhere. It did seem like they're trying to do what they can to control it, which is why they raised the rates 75 basis points today. But still, you also want to be careful because someone did ask, if you overcorrect, are you going to have to U-turn? And, he was like, we don't want to go wrong in either way. Obviously, they're still looking to get that softish landing, but he's like, we'll do what we have to do, but it's really taking it just month by month and data point by data point to see what they need to do. They're really focusing heavy on this 24/7. Every data that they get in, they're taking it all in, figuring what's going on. And up until we got the CPI data last Friday, we were looking at a 50 basis point hike today. Obviously, the market did not like the CPI. The market heard about the 75 basis point hike on Monday, sold off on that, but then we rallied with it today because the market just prices in what it sees going on in the future. The market's going to price out what it thinks is going to happen 6 months down the road. So 6 months down the road, we are looking at the next 4 FOMC meetings. So they have now priced this in at 50, 50, 50, and possibly 25. So again, if we're going to go forward and we're going to see a more dovish Fed with a massive turnaround, like I said, if we get CPI data, let's say in August, or maybe Joe Biden has the meeting with Saudi Arabia in July, and all of a sudden we get oil prices coming way down, that number will probably be reflected in the September CPI data, which will, it's with the August numbers that we get in September. We will get that information. That might be the turning point because that will also be, year over year based on high inflation that we had last September. So when you're looking at year over year numbers, we're also comparing it to a high number from last year. And if we have numbers coming down because oil prices are coming down, we could see a massive fall off in inflation come September or October. This could be that signal that the Fed is going to go more dovish. So again, Kathy Wood thinks it's going to be July. I think it's going to be September. Many others think it's September as well. So I think that might be the time that we see that sort of U-turn, and maybe not, interest rates coming down, but a more U-turn of a dovish Fed coming in September, which could cause a market rally. And now, of course, come September, we're also going to be going through the Q2 earnings at the end of July, which right now seem to be pretty dismal. And then we're also going to be getting that GDP data to let us know if we're actually going to be in a recession or not. So that could also be fluctuating the market ahead of this potential inflation fall, which could cause the Fed to go more dovish. So lots to happen between now and then, and it seems like we've now got the information that we want to hear. My question is, are we going to see a little bit of a rally, or at least kind of a holding pattern between now and the next CPI data? Or are we going to see this little, bump in the next couple of days and then we fall some more with other news coming out? I don't know. We're still in such uncertain territory right now. The market definitely seemed to be happy about this, but we might just kind of be in this bear market holding pattern for the next few weeks to see what's going to happen with the next CPI data and see what's going to happen with any other information we get. Now, personally, I'm a tear the Band-Aid off fast kind of guy, which is, raising the rates as quickly as we can now to bring CPI down. But as Jerome Powell had said, if raising rates that high isn't going to affect the real reason that we have high inflation, which is commodities and oil, is it going to matter? And if you go too high, that could actually cause bigger problems later as well. So 75 seems like what they felt was the safe thing. Some people wanted a 100 basis point hike. We're not getting Paul Volckered, so that's a good thing for right now because they don't want to induce a recession. So again, still lots of questions. And as I had said before, when you have more questions than answers, the market is in a turmoil place like we're at right now. Once we get to a point where there's more answers than questions, then we can actually see a true bull run start again. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you guys feel about the 75 basis point hike now? Do you think that we are going to get oil prices coming down in the next 2 months that will in turn bring inflation down? Or do you think we're going to stay at high inflation and go to some worse place in the future and the Fed's going to have to really crank up rates later? Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord chat, that link is in the description, and if you'd like to support the channel any further, I do have a Patreon, that link is in the description as well. Thank you so much, have a great one.